to our core yoga class today. Whether you're with us live or you're watching the replay, this is going to be a beautiful class to get out of your head and into your body. We're going to sweat, we're going to move, we're going to really try to work in alignment with our breath and allow our breath to guide us through the practice. I am back home in Winnipeg right now visiting family, and so my family cat is here, and he'll probably be joining us for some of the class because he just always likes to join when I do yoga. So without further ado, we'll get started. You just need some water nearby. If you have yoga blocks, those are always nice to have in case you need a prop. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use books. Hardcover books are great because you can stack them on top of each other and kind of use them as an extension of your arms, is what I like to say. Props are just an extension of our body. So we're going to begin together in child's pose today. And you can decide if you're looking to get some release in your low back, then have your knees together. And if you're looking to stretch your hips more, you can have your knees apart, about as wide as your mat or whatever feels comfortable. And then walk yourself forward, coming down into your child's pose, having your forehead resting on the mat. If the mat feels far away, you can always stack your fists on top of each other and have your forehead just resting on your fists. Either way, we'll begin here with a few inhales and exhales, just allowing ourselves to sink deeper into the present moment and deeper into our body. And as we are in child's pose, I invite you to set an intention for the practice or for your day, whether that is showing up with love, taking care of yourself, whatever you need today, just repeat that to yourself as your intention for the practice and then leading into the rest of your day. On your next inhale, just walk your arms over to the right, and we're just going to stretch into the left side body. So you're in your child's pose, but your arms are just walking over to the right. Maybe your left hand is on top of your right hand, and just stretching into your left side. And then on your next exhale, just walk yourself over with your hands to your left now. And then on your next exhale, come back to center, 2 breaths in your child's pose. Beautiful. And then begin to round your spine and slowly come up into tabletop on all fours. I'm just checking in, making sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Oh, we have someone else. No, that's good. Okay. Glad I saw that. Okay, so we're in tabletop position, and we're just going to do a few cat-cows together. Welcome, welcome. You didn't miss much. We're just meeting in a tabletop position, and we're going to do some cat-cows together. So on the inhale, belly will drop, gaze forward, coming into your cow. Exhale, spine rounds for your cat, chin to chest. Inhale for your cow. Exhale for your cat. As my cat walks up, perfect timing. And just follow your breath as we move through these cat-cows. We're going to do 5 more of each. Inhaling, we come to cow. Exhale to cat. And next time you're in your cat, so your rounded spine, we're going to do a few barrel rolls. So you're going to lean towards the right. Belly will drop as you come through the middle. You're coming through a cow. And then spine begins to round again as you come back. So this might look weird, and that's okay. We just want to focus on how it feels. We're warming up the spine. We're getting into our wrist and knee joints. And you can make these barrel rolls, these circles with your spine as big or as small as feels good for you. And once you've gone a few times in one direction, just switch and go the other way. Beautiful. Coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to start getting into the core since this is core yoga. So allow your right arm to lift and your left leg to lift. And you don't have to have your leg high. We want to make sure we're really engaging our core here, engaging our low belly, gaze is down. And then on your next exhale, we're going to bring our right elbow to touch our left knee. Inhale, back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, back out. Exhale to crunch. 2 more. Last crunch. Straighten back out. Hold it. And then bend your left knee. And your right arm, your right hand is going to reach for your foot. It's okay if you can't reach it. Just use the strength of your core and your leg to hold it there. But if you can reach, begin to kick your foot into your hand, looking forward. Beautiful. Exhale, let that go. Shake it out a little bit. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So now, left arm's going to lift. Right leg will lift. Check in, make sure you're still engaging your core here. Make sure you're breathing. And then exhale, elbow to knee to crunch. Inhale, back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, back out. And really follow your breath as we go through these crunches here. Beautiful. Coming back to straight arm, straight leg. Take a breath. And then bending that right knee. Left hand is reaching for your right foot. Whether you grab it or not, either is great. If you are holding your foot, kick that foot into your hand, maybe lifting your leg a little higher. And then exhale to release. Shake it up. Beautiful. So you're in your tabletop, tuck those toes, exhale, lift up to downward dog. Now check in with your downward dog. Make sure you're not coming too far forward. If you're looking at me and you feel like you look like this, bend your knees. And it'll help you straighten out your upper body. We ideally want a straight line from our fingertips all the way to our hips. So bending your knees is really going to help. And it's also going to help protect your hamstrings if they're feeling a little tight today. Really pushing into your hands and your feet, even weight between your hands and your feet. 2 more breaths here. And then inhale to look forward and slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Maybe you have to bend your knees once you get to your forward fold. That is totally okay. We're just going to hang out in a forward fold for a few breaths. Your knees can be as bent as you need. If you have it in you to have straight legs, I always say just to have a micro bend in your knees to protect them and you don't walk your knees out. On your next inhale, slowly come up to standing. Vertebra by vertebra, head comes up last. Coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a breath here. And then inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward with bent knees. Once you get down, inhale, hands come to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant down, step the right foot back, knee comes to the mat. We're coming into a low lunge. So inhale, arms up overhead. And we're really engaging our cores here and engaging our inner thighs. This is where the fire is in this pose. Hands are active. And then we're going to bring our hands together into a prayer almost. And then bring them to the back of your head. So your hands can clasp the back of your head. Elbows are out to the sides. Inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to twist and bring our right elbow to left knee. Coming into this kind of crunch variation here. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Coming back up to your low lunge. And then we're going to begin to kind of lean into our front leg. So sometimes it's nice to let your back leg, your right leg, come back a little bit because we're coming into a low runner's lunge. So you can decide, I like to have my hands behind my head here, keep my chest open. As we sink into the hips, just make sure you're engaging your glutes right now to protect your low back. Breathe. Beautiful. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. And we're going to heel toe walk our left foot forward. Our left leg is going to be straight. We're coming into a half split. So this is where having blocks or books can be helpful. If the ground feels far away. Otherwise, if you can bring your hands to the mat, great. If you can't, that's also great. There's no right or wrong in yoga. So wherever you are, doing your best to keep breathing. And if you want, you can fold forward, let your head and neck hang heavy. Taking a few breaths here and half split on the left side. Beautiful. Inhale to come back up. Bring your foot back in so your knees bent. Hands are on the mat. Tuck those back toes, lift that back knee. Step back into your plank position. And in plank, we're really engaging our core. Gaze is in between your hands. And then lower your knees. Shift forward, coming down through a supported chaturanga all the way to your belly. Inhale, coming into a Sphinx position. So our forearms are on the mat. Elbows are underneath our shoulders. And we're engaging our legs and our glutes here still to protect the low back since this is the back bend. And you can gaze forward or you can gaze down and give the neck a break. And then exhale, coming down, coming back through your tabletop, and then shifting up into the downward dog. Take a couple breaths here in your down dog. Beautiful. Now we're going to step the right foot forward. So you can inhale, lift the right leg, and bring it through, or you can just step that through. Back knee, left knee comes down to the mat. We're coming into the outer side. Inhale, arms up, overhead, low lunge. Again, making sure you're still engaging your core. This is an active pose. And then bringing your hands behind your head, clasping your fingers together if that feels good. We're going to do those same crunches, but now to the other side. So on our exhale, we'll do a crunch. Inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Two more. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into that low runner's lunge again. So maybe bring your hands down to your mat just to allow yourself to let that back leg go further back to give yourself more space. And begin to let your right knee come a little bit more forward. And again, you can have your arms or your hands clasped behind your head, elbows out to the sides, chest open as we sink a little deeper. Beautiful. Exhale to come back up. Hands come down to the mat. This is where you might need your blocks or your books. Heel toe that right foot forward so the right leg is straight, coming into half split on the other side. Finding your edge. This can be a really big stretch for our hamstrings, for even our low back, you might feel it in. But if you feel any tingling, that's your body's way of saying, just don't go so far. We don't want to feel any tingling in our low back or our legs. And we'll stay here for 2 more breaths. You can fold forward. That's in your practice. Beautiful. Coming back up, bringing that foot closer in so the knee can bend, hands to the mat. Tuck those back toes, step back into plank once again. Taking a breath here in plank. And then we're just gonna shift our hips right back to downward dog. Take a breath here in your down dog. And then look forward and step your feet towards your hands, coming into that forward fold once again. Knees can be as bent as you need. And we're going to come into a ragdoll. So reaching for opposite elbows with your hands. Just allowing yourself to hang a little bit more in this forward fold. Releasing any tension in the low back. And maybe you want to sway from side to side here. Beautiful, you can let that go. And inhale, slowly come up to stand. Vertebra by vertebra, head comes up last. Take a breath in your mountain pose. And then grab a sip of water. Okay. Once you've had your water, come back to your mountain pose, come back to Tadasana. Take a breath. And then inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, folding forward, bending at the knees, hinging at the hips. Coming down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forward, and then step that right foot back. Knee comes down to the mat once again. Leaving your right hand on the mat, inhale, reach the left arm high to the sky. And then tuck your back toes, tuck those right toes, lift the knees. So we're coming into our side stretch here, a little more active. And then slowly really engage your inner thighs here. Bring that weight out of your right hand, come up into a twisted high lunge. Maybe you want to take this a bit further. The left hand can come back to the right leg, reaching the right arm overhead. Coming back to your twisted lunge. It's okay if you're shaky, I know I am. And then place your right hand back on the mat. And this is going to be a bit of a challenge. So if you fall or if it doesn't work, don't worry about it, but we'll try. So inhale, engage your core, and then step back into a side plank on the right side. Now, if side plank is just too much, you can do a supported side plank, bringing your bottom leg down, your right leg down, knee is bent. And then we'll all meet in this supported side plank and reach the left arm overhead, stretching the whole left side of the body. Beautiful. Release that. Come back to your tabletop. Shift your hips back. Come into child's pose for 2 breaths. Beautiful. On your next inhale, slowly come back up to down dog. Take your time, there's no rush. And then inhale, looking forward and stepping that right foot through. We're going to do the other side. So this time, left hand will stay on the mat, reaching the right arm up, twisting towards the right. And then tucking those back toes, left toes, lifting that left knee, making this a bit more active. And then slowly starting to bring your weight out of that left hand so you can come up into your twisted high lunge. Really engage your inner thighs here. It will help keep you stable. Maybe taking it a step further. Coming back through the twisted high lunge. Left hand comes back down to the mat, right arm reaching high to the sky. And then again, you know where we're going. Side plank. Coming into your side plank on the other side. Modifying if you need. And then we'll all meet in a modified side plank. Left knee down. Reaching the right arm overhead. Coming in, stretching the whole right side body. Beautiful. Coming back for tabletop. I'm taking a sip of water if you need. I know I need. Beautiful. Come into a child's pose for 5 breaths. Beautiful. Coming back up into your tabletop, tucking those toes, lifting your hips up into your downward dog. We're going to do a few lines breaths here. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, stick out your tongue. Sigh it out. 2 more like that. Beautiful. Okay, inhale, lift the right leg. Doesn't have to go super high. Exhale, knee to nose. We're coming into a plank crunch here. Inhale, right leg back up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, cross now, knee to left elbow. Inhale, back up. And then exhale to step the right foot through, coming up into a high lunge. Arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands back to frame your foot. Step back into high plank. And then exhale to chaturanga. Your knees can come down or slow and controlled all the way to the belly. Keeping your hands where they are. Lift the chest, coming into a cobra. And you can just be low in your cobra. You don't have to come into a high cobra. Either way, engaging the legs and the glutes to protect the low back. Exhale, coming all the way down, coming through tabletop to down dog. Taking a couple breaths here. Regulate your breathing. And then inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale to crunch, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left knee to right, left elbow, sorry. Inhale, back up. Left knee to right elbow. Inhale, back up. Exhale, to step your left foot through. Coming into high lunge on the other side. Hope you are all doing well. Beautiful. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Frame that left foot. And step back to plank. Take a breath. Exhale, coming all the way down to the belly. Inhale to cobra, or you can do Sphinx pose, whatever feels best. Exhale, coming down and pushing yourself back to child's pose for 5 breaths. Beautiful. Slowly walk yourself up, grab a sip of water, if that is what you need right now. We are moving at a pretty quick pace right now. So if you're feeling a little out of breath or sweaty, that is okay. That is normal. I am also sweaty and a little bit out of breath. Okay, once you've had your sip of water, you feel ready to go again, we'll meet together in a downward dog. Take a couple breaths here in your down dog. And then bring your feet together. Inhale, lift the left leg high to the sky. Hips are opening up. And then bend that left knee and begin to make circles with your hips. Or with your knee, sorry. Getting into the hip lift. Once you've done about 3 to 5, you can stop. I'm gonna shift forward, and that left foot is gonna come on the outside of the left hand, right knee to the mat, coming into a lizard lunge. Right hand is gonna stay on the mat. Inhale, left arm forward, up and around, reaching back. And let your right ear drop towards your right shoulder here. And then on your exhale, bringing that left arm back to the mat, hand to the mat. Taking a breath in lizard. And then we're just gonna come straight into pigeon from lizard. So you're just going to heel toe your left foot to the other side of the mat. Let your leg come down, your left leg come down. Coming into our pigeon pose here. Checking in, making sure you're not dumping or sitting too much to one side. If this is a lot, you can always go onto your back and do a figure 4. So I'll show you if that's something you need. Your right knee is bent, foot is on the mat, and your left leg is crossing over. This is gonna do the same thing as pigeon. You can even reach, grabbing your right thigh. That is a great variation if pigeon is not in your practice yet. Otherwise, for those of us in pigeon, you can stay upright, you can grab a block as you come forward into sleeping pigeon as a support. You can come onto your forearms, or you can come all the way down, forehead resting on the mat. And then inhale, if you're in your sleeping pigeon, come back up. Hands are on the mat, tuck those back toes, lift that right knee, step back into plank pose, and then shift your hips back up to downward dog right away. Take a breath in your down dog. And then bringing your feet together, lifting your right leg high to the sky now, Open out those hips. And bending your right knee. Beginning to make circles with the knee. Getting into the right hip joint. And then once you've done 3 to 5, you can stop. And we'll bring that right foot forward, step it on the outside of your right hand, coming into lizard lunge on the other side. Taking a couple breaths here to get settled. And then leaving the left hand on the mat, inhale, right arm forward, up and around, reaching for the back leg. And then let your left ear drop towards your left shoulder. And exhale, right hand comes back to the mat. Take another breath or 2 here in lizard. And then begin to heel toe the right foot to the other side of the mat. We're coming into pigeon on the other side. Again, if pigeon isn't in your practice yet, you can come into figure 4 on your back, the other side. And then once you feel you have equal weight in both of your hips, you can stay upright, or you can come down into your sleeping pigeon. Resting on your forearms, or coming all the way down. Forehead on the mat. Beautiful. Slowly coming back up. If you're in your sleeping pigeon, hands come to the mat. Tuck those back toes. Lift your left knee. Step back into plank pose. Take a breath here in plank. And then either knees come down to the mat or shift forward, coming down through your chaturanga all the way to the belly. Inhale to Sphinx or Cobra, whatever feels best. Exhale, coming back through tabletop and up to downward dog. Take a breath here in your down dog. Beautiful. Now we're going to come back into our plank. So coming into your plank, we're going to come into a forearm plank. So coming down onto your forearms, sure your butt's not too high. Engaging your core, engaging your shoulders. I'm just going to hold this for a few breaths. Beautiful. Knees come down. Come back into a child's pose for 3 breaths. Awesome. Walk yourself up. Grab a sip of water, and then we're going to come to lay down on our backs. So coming down to your back, we're going to do some ab core exercises, and this is core yoga. So what I would like first is have your feet on the mat, knees are bent, and have your feet as close as you can to your butt. Arms are alongside you. And we're just going to start by lifting your arms up a little bit. So your hands, your arms are hovering off the mat. We're engaging our core right now. And then on your next inhale, lift your shoulders up. And begin to pulse your hands. Continue to breathe. Maybe you lift your right leg. Maybe you lift both legs. Your right leg comes back down, just left leg lift. Left leg comes back down, still pulsing, we're still going. Beautiful, release. Take a breath. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're gonna bring our hands kind of underneath our butt. You're kind of, your butt's kind of resting on your hands or your wrists. I'm gonna lift the legs up high to the sky, okay? The hands underneath the butt and low back is just to give you a little extra support. So staying here, or maybe lowering one leg, hovering, bringing it back up, lowering the other leg, hovering, bringing it back up. We're going to do a couple more like this. Beautiful. Now maybe allowing both legs to slowly come down, coming to a hover. Maybe lifting the head to look towards your legs. And then all the way back up. Head can come back to the mat. Release your arms from underneath you. Let your legs come down. We're almost done, I promise. And then bringing your hands onto your thighs. Feet are on the mat, knees are bent. We're just going to do some simple ones. We're just going to allow our hands to glide us up and back down. Inhale up, exhale back down. Two more. Beautiful. Now bring your legs in, hug them, maybe rocking a little bit side to side, massaging the low back, massaging the sacrum. Beautiful. Now you can bring your arms to T shoulder height. I don't have enough room, so I'm just gonna cactus my arms. We're just gonna allow our knees to fall to the right side, coming into a twist, really slowing down our practice now. Looking over your left shoulder. And maybe bringing your right hand to your belly so you can reconnect with your breath. Beautiful. Slowly coming back to center. Gaze comes back up to the ceiling. Knees come back up to center. And then on your next exhale, just dropping your knee to the other side, to the left. And allowing your gaze to be over your right arm, your right shoulder. Maybe bringing your left hand to your belly to connect back to your breath. Closing down the eyes. On your next inhale, your head will come back to center. Legs come back up to center. And then before we come into our final Shavasana, just again, reaching for the tops of your shins, and just rocking a bit from side to side again. Knees are a bit wider now. And you can stay here in your half happy baby, or you can come into the full expression, grabbing for the outsides of your feet. Feet are pointing up to the ceiling, knees are bent. And you can either rock from side to side in your happy baby, or you can stay still. And if you're staying still, do your best to try to get your entire back connected with the mat, connected with the ground. And then releasing that, giving yourself a final hug. And then exhale, coming down into your Shavasana. Legs will come down. Arms are as wide as you need, or enough to give your armpits some room to breathe. And we're going to stay in our Shavasana for at least 10 to 15 breaths. Just to really absorb all of the benefits from our practice today. We worked really hard. Core yoga is considered a little more of an intermediate practice. So know that you did amazing. You might have pushed your body in a good way, but most of all, you listened to your body, and that's what matters. In your next inhale, begin to deepen your breath. Bringing small movements back into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists, ankles. Then arms overhead, legs come together, taking a big stretch. Exhale, release, bend the knees, feet come to the mat, rolling over to your right side. Using your right arm as a pillow, taking a breath here in this fetal position. And then doing your best to keep your eyes closed as you push yourself up to a seated position. Now I invite you to bring both your hands over your heart. Eyes are closed. Just take a few deep breaths into your heart space. Coming back to your intention for your practice and for your day, repeating it to yourself a few times. Bringing your hands to prayer, bowing your head. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing today. You did amazing. I know it was a little bit of hard work, and I'm so proud of you all. See you next time.